Hello and welcome to another edition of Focus for Education. Great to be back with another season of shows, and in this first show this season we're actually going to kick off at the high school. There's been a lot of buzz lately as I think I go around town as to what is this highly successful program that's evolved. We're calling it adult education. A few years ago we started at the high school with a flex program to help students that were a little bit behind in graduation credits pick up some of those credits, and it has evolved from a small program to what I think is a real cutting edge program from what I've heard about it. So what I thought we'd do is come to the high school and actually talk to the people, and I want to learn a little bit more about it. So with me here as our first guest in this show is Jason Parent.
Hello.
Who is the assistant principal of House 3.
Correct.
And the director of the program, the adult ed program. So first, welcome to the show. And
thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit. I from what I understand, there are several levels of this program, both for students that are still in school, students that have left school, and kind of, if you give us maybe the highlights, and then we'll dig in a little bit.
Sure, be glad to. We started with our Flex program, which offered our day students an extension to their school day where they could make up courses and gain additional credits to apply to their 24 credit diploma. What we were finding is, though that's beneficial for a lot of the students, some who were getting further and further behind credit-wise were not able to make up that credit and get towards the 24 credits, and we didn't have really a viable option for them if they were to lose a semester or even a year of credits due to academic failure. So we started to look at what we could offer to those students as well.
So out of this now, I understand we really have two different Londonderry diplomas and a GED level option, right? So there are three types of diplomas that a student can aspire to?
That's correct. We have the day program, which is a 24 credit diploma. We had a 24 credit committee spearheaded by the superintendent, and it was the charge of the school board to investigate how we can look at what we offer to kids. And this adult ed program, which grew out of Flex, became one of the avenues students could pursue a diploma. The adult ed diploma offers students a 20 credit high school diploma, which is endorsed by the Department of Education and the school board, and it is a district diploma, allowing students to gain a full credit per class to work towards that degree.
And then we also offer the opportunity for people that are out of school that have not had completed a program, that they could come back and we're a test site for GED, correct?
That's correct, and that is really, we look at this sort of as a three-tier option. Our first focus is to try to get students a 24 credit high school diploma from Londonderry High School. Many of them have spent 3, 4, 5 years here trying to complete their work and to graduate. For those that fall short, we look at the 20 credit diploma as a middle tier option for them, students that have withdrawn, transfer into our night program and pursue this diploma program. So there's a lot of academic counseling going on. At the very least, we want our kids to have a GED if they're not going to obtain a high school diploma. So that option, we became a testing site for that, and many people are taking up that option as well.
It seems that the success that I'm hearing of this program, that it really is cutting edge. We've spent a lot of time talking about the successes that we have as a district, whether that be in the music programs, the athletic programs, the students we send off to college, and we have been satisfied. I know in my years on the board, we always felt good about our relatively low dropout rate, or students that withdrew for one reason or another. This really is a way of getting at that group of students and giving them a chance to succeed. The numbers that I have heard in terms of the successes have been what I would consider phenomenal. What's the trick? What is it that you have figured out that's making them want to help themselves succeed?
Well, first of all, there's so many people that have attributed to this success, I feel. Administration, school board, teachers, guidance have all taken a look at why these students have failed in a traditional and structured setting. So when we were looking at our demographic, we really wanted to try to get at why these kids are failing and how can we help them achieve. What we found to be a major issue was an attendance issue for kids. They were disenfranchised and they just could not thrive in a structured setting where they went to 8 periods a day, 45-minute classes, had homework and outside projects and outside commitments. They just could not keep it all together. So we really tried to simplify things for them, create classes that were offered once a week in a 3-hour block. They would still meet the state requirement of 45 seat hours, but in that time they're doing a lot of hands-on activities and hands-on learning. The instruction, I feel, is dynamic, and they really try to look at getting to these kids and finding out what keeps them interested, and then using a lot of real-world experiences to apply to that.
So this may be analogous to a lot of the differentiation that we're doing. Let's say I know we did a show not too long ago at the middle school where in one of the science programs they were 20 different kids in the class, and there were really about 5 different classes going on in the same class, trying to focus in on what the abilities were of each of the students. This is just taking that to a whole nother level.
Absolutely. You're seeing differentiated instruction, you're seeing Gardner's multiple intelligences, and kids are exhibiting their knowledge not through test taking necessarily, but different ways. Portfolio assessment, a lot of project-oriented
type work.
So
yeah. Things like portfolio work and life experience work and that type of thing.
Doing presentations. It's just great. There's so many avenues where they can demonstrate their knowledge.
So if I have already left school and am looking to come back, I guess one of the key things probably is an intake process of how do I get back, and does that really begin with you and the guidance department?
Yes, when we took a look at the courses that we wanted to offer and the people that we wanted part of this program, we also looked at, we averaged about 40 students per year withdrawing from our school. Now, in the withdrawal process, when they go through main guidance, they fill out a withdrawal form and they give some indication of what they intend to do. But as far as follow-up, that's where we were, I felt, falling short, and we needed to pursue that. So to give you an example, if a student said, I may try the Manchester Adult Ed program, we didn't necessarily know if they actually completed that work or had gotten through, if they wanted to pursue the GED. And because now we have these programs, we know, and we're encouraging them to transfer into our night program and create that. Again, through academic planning, we can map out a path for them. So we were contacting these kids and young adults through the letters and our correspondence through the phone, and asking them to come back and to take a look at their transcripts and give them that second chance and that second opportunity to gain a diploma.
Okay. So it's really a lot of follow-up, a lot of just making sure that it happens, and I think it may be interesting for our viewers to kind of follow that process a little bit, and if the whole program is as enthusiastic as you are sitting here and talking about, you exude the fact that you believe in all of this.
We're excited about it.
I think it might be interesting for the viewers if we could maybe spend some time in the guidance department talking about what they do. I think there's a connection with the school to career program, and then actually see some of the students in the classroom. I think maybe that ties it all together. So is that something we could do?
Sure thing.
All right.
You got it.
Let's see if we can pull that together. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your overview of the program.
Thank you very much.
Sounds like you are enthusiastic, and it sounds like we really got something that is going to be very successful for our students.
Thank you.
Okay.
In public school, it just doesn't cater to me, and I don't function well in a public environment. I'm much better with more singular attention directed at me, perhaps a few others. This adult education just works for me and will allow me to graduate.
Okay, we've recently now heard from Jason, who's given us an overview of the program, but what I'd like to do is get a little bit deeper involved and talk specifically about the intake of a student into the program and how the program is designed to really make sure that the student gets the most out of this, gets the diploma that he or she is looking for, and the life skills and the career skills that they're after. And this is a very integrated program, and rather than listening to me, I think we want to go right to the expert in this. We have Mike Dolphin, Director of Guidance, joining us. Mike, welcome.
Thank you.
And what I guess I would like our listeners to understand a little bit, we've talked about the multiple levels of this program, a full Londonderry 24 credit diploma. We've talked a little bit about the adult ed 20 credit diploma, and also there is a GED component of this. For that student that has left the educational system, whether that be for a short time or a long time, let's start with that student that may be coming back to high school and maybe doesn't really know where do I start, and I guess it really is you're the guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the guidance counselors as well in the houses, depending on their relationships with the kids, which are mostly positive. I got an example for you because coming from Hudson, I already have a young lady that did not graduate last year at Alvern, and she and I and her mother have already made connections that she's going to be meeting with me in December, and we're going to be mapping out the strategies for her diploma. She needs about 4 credits. So right away we've got 2 courses that we've identified, and we're going to start an independent study, and we'll be looking at her job as well with the school to career office to see how many credits we can get through that experience. So hopefully she'll be finished by June.
Great. And that really is a good point. You say she's from Alvern, so this isn't a Londonderry only program.
No, it's regional. Obviously we want to focus on our students first and foremost. Example today again, a girl, junior girl in here, really frustrated with school, had enough, so to speak. Talked to her at length. I know her a little bit, and then I sent her down to see her guidance counselor in House 4. We have a meeting with the parents. She's about 10 credits away, but she's got a chance to either, get this diploma at the end of the year with already mapped out a plan, have a meeting with her folks about her credits this semester, a couple of independent studies, work-related experience, and then she enrolls in 2 classes at night, and then 2 classes in the summer. She'd be done by the end of the next summer, if that's where we go. We have to get the parents in first. We want to map that out for them. And in the post of that, the good question that she had, a really good question was, well, what about college? Will any colleges take me? Mr. Dolphin, what am I going to do? And I said, 5 colleges, and I identified the 5 colleges in the area, the 2 community tech colleges in Nashua, Manchester, Hesser, Middlesex, and Northern Essex and Mass, that would take her. And so we'll help her right through that process as well. So she walked out of here thinking, I can't stay in school when she came in, but she left. I've got a chance. Now I can work hard, get some credits, meet with my parents, with help from school officials, and then map out a strategy to move in a positive direction towards an adult diploma, or maybe, just maybe, she may change her mind with success and stay in the standard diploma route.
Right. Now within the program, you talk about some of the options. There is a fairly fixed curriculum that is core classes and electives. Is that correct?
Correct. They have to have their 20 credits per the minimum standards of the school district with their 4 Englishes and their social studies and so on and so forth. They have to meet that. So that's why afternoon and evenings, 2 days a week, each semester there's courses available to those kids to take to earn that credit. Because once they're out of the day program, if they're Londonderry High School students now, they would then be in classes and earning 1 credit per class.
Right.
But it's also an opportunity for those kids that are behind standard diploma credit that don't want to wait for summer school to take a class, but they get a half a credit for those classes.
Okay. And if I am coming back, you'll work with me in terms of, let's say I was coming from Alvern or Manchester, you would work with me to get my transcripts and the background of my previous school so that we could decide, do I have my English credits but I don't have my science credits, or
Give you an example too, because it's just happened last week where a teacher that works here let me know about a student that went to school in another community, and she knows the aunt. The aunt called, we set up a meeting, got the young man's transcript. He's 20 now, but he only had about 7.5, 8 credits. So we went over the curriculum and explained the classes that he would need, and he was at least 2 years away. So as soon as we had this discussion, we talked about all the independent studies, we talked about work experience, we talked about job shadowing, we talked about everything that we offer. He started thinking about the fact that it was going to cost him $125 a class. There's going to be at least 9 or 10 classes. He was going to be in classes maybe with kids a lot younger, maybe with kids his age or people his age. First thing I did, as soon as I could see his face changing, I called Jason up. Jason came up from downstairs. We talked about the GED component. So right away we had a discussion about the practice test, about the fact that what he has to do if he takes the practice test, how much it costs, and how much it costs to take the GED, what would happen if he didn't pass the practice test. And he was discouraged because of the time, and then he became encouraged. So right away he went right downstairs, and I believe he scheduled the practice test for the following week, and now he's going to hopefully get his GED within 6 months. And then after that, as soon as we made that connection, I said, now when you're done your GED and you want to look at colleges, you can come back and see me, because then I'll help him with that piece. So it's just a constant link. It's just keeping on a continuum and working with these kids from entry level to the decision making, and then the post, diploma or the post GED or whatever they choose to do.
Now, we touch on the GED. We're a regional test site.
Correct.
For GED. We don't have a training class,
We
so
don't.
to speak, here,
No.
but you can do your pre-test, and
Pre-test.
there is a fee for that.
Yeah, $10, it's not too
which
bad.
is pretty
Yeah.
minimal. And then the pre-test gives you kind of a sense of where your strengths and weaknesses are going to be.
Correct.
And then we also give the GED test here. And that really is geared for anyone who is out of school up to
Right.
my age and older.
I mean, if they happen to leave school before the age of 18 with parental permission in any school district in the state, they have to get permission from the state Department of Education to take the test before they're 18. Okay, so that's a process that involves them applying for that through the Department of Ed and having it certified by a school official like myself that it's in their best interest. If they're 18, they can just come here, go down to House 3, see Jason or his secretary, and schedule a practice test. And the advantage of being a regional test center, Manchester and Nashua, or the other areas, other test centers in this area, is that usually you can get them in the next day, next couple days, take the practice test. And based on that practice test, the GED is a 5.5-hour test. So a lot of people assume that it's just a simple, couple hours and we can do it, but it's a 5.5-hour
big deal.
Yeah, it is. And then if they do pass it, great, we schedule them for the test. If not, we recommend that they go to Manchester School of Technology at night, their adult program, or Nashua, over off of Main Street on Lake Street, the Adult Learning Center, take classes there in the week areas. Then when they feel they're ready, take the practice test again. If they pass it, then schedule a GED.
Right. I want to pick up on a thread that I heard through your earlier conversation. Within the adult ed diploma, which is the 20-hour diploma, the core, what I would call the core subjects, math, English, science, history, I believe that's 11 of the 20 credits, and there are 9 electives.
4 years of English, they have to take math 2 years, 2 years of history, 2 years of science, phys ed, health, computers. So I believe it's around 11, I think.
And the remaining electives, now that can be programs that we currently have in our curriculum. It also can be some independent study that they tell us a little bit about the
independent study is a student that, let's say, I still have certification in social studies in the state, having been a teacher when I first entered education years ago. So one of the things I've created is what I call independent study in art of writing, where the students have to basically read news articles and then do one-page summaries on international, local, and domestic stories. Each one is graded based on its structure and on its content, because not only do I want them to get the credit, I'm also trying to teach them a lifelong skill. I want them to be information seekers. I want them to devour information. I want them to understand what it's like. So I'm trying to teach them a skill. So that's one thing we can do when they're out of the day program. Then we can also do some independent studies in gym, PE, whether they join a local workout club or a facility, and we create that. Also, if they're older adults, if they're in their 20s and they've worked for 2 or 3 years, then we sit down with Mrs. Esterly next door to me in the Career Center, look at their employment history, look at their experiences in that. Now we have a student right now that just came back to us and is going to re-enroll in the day program, but in between he's already working with her on a job shadowing internship experience, and he's meeting the standards that are set by the state Department of Labor. It's not just come in and get work credit. He has to meet with her once a week. He has to create a goal sheet, do his reflection papers. So we can do all of those things with the students that exit the high school standard diploma program, as well as help those, older adults who are coming back in who say, gee, I want to get that 20 credit diploma, and that means even if they received a GED, they can still do that as well, because not one replaces the other.
You can continue to upgrade,
Exactly.
so to speak. One of the statistics which really got my attention when we started talking about this, and this, I guess, from the outside looking in, I think, to me, I would say, and I may not have this right, that really this started with, I think, the Flex program.
Correct.
Where we were trying to catch up some of those students that weren't quite on track to graduate, and it has grown into the program that, and I suspect there's going to be more growth as it continues.
Mm-hmm.
This past year, there were all but, I don't have the number right, 2 or 3 students that didn't catch up, that went through the program.
Right.
What's the trick? What is it that is getting to these students?
I think it's simple that it's, they talk a lot about technology and education in the world today, and having done this for 30 years, the issue is still as a person that cares about a child, that parent that hangs in there, that loves that child, no matter if they're 17 or 18, or the fact that they have a school official that they truly believe cares about them. So when they're presented with options, and they get to select the day program and continuing classes at night, or leaving the day program for a 20 credit diploma, it still is that human element that's making the difference. The kids are responding and the young adults are responding because they feel that somebody in their life, whether it's Mr. Parent or a guidance counselor or a teacher, a parent, or myself, that says, hey, we're going to work with you to help you through this, to get that diploma, whether it's standard or whether it's not, because it's important that you do that for yourself, for your future, and then you can still go to college with that when you're ready, whether it's right away or later. So they're first astonished by that. But then when you follow that up with action and you continue to work with them, then they know that somebody does really care and they're going to help them. No matter what their experience was in this school district or other school districts, that makes the difference. And they respond to that human element all the time, no matter who they are, no matter what they've been through. And that's really the major ingredient in any success story I've ever known in my career. It's that human element that takes away all the other fears, doubts, and worries. I can do this, and I can see you if I have a question. I can get your help if I have a question. Absolutely. And that's the same for Jason, for myself, for all the 7 counselors here. The administrative team, everybody feels the same way, that this is a good thing for the student, whether they use it for standard diploma credits, whether they need to leave the school for whatever reason and approach a 20 credit diploma, or whether they have to get a GED. Because with all those, you can still go to college. And that's a myth we try to break right away. Yes, you can go to college.
And I think that's probably a key point that
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of people don't pick up out of this, and it's that it is all stepping stones. And I think you really hit on a key thing. We've talked in a number of these shows that we've got great buildings, we've got great technology, we've got the voters of this community have been very supportive of the school district over the years, but when you strip it all away, it's the people that make the difference. And I look at the longevity of the people that stay with it for so long, that are dedicated to the kids. And as you heard, Mike here has got over 30 years in this business, recently from Alvarin to here, but his wife has been here for a long time. I've got a daughter who's post-college, post-grad school, and now working at a college who Mike's wife had as an elementary student. So there is a long fabric and a long thread, and it is the people here. And I think if there's anything that comes out of this segment of the show, I think is that understanding that if you want to come back, you want to succeed, that the people here that are in the school every day are going to give you all the help that you could possibly want to make you succeed, and to give you a direction that will take you where you want to go with your life, and help you expand on the life skills that you already have. Mike, I really appreciate you taking the time today, but more importantly, I appreciate you taking the time with all of the students, whether from Londonderry or not from Londonderry over the years, just to be both the person you've been and to help them be the person that they all become.
Yeah, thank you. Every child's a miracle. I've always believed that, and they all have special, unique qualities, and we'll find the success no matter what it takes. If they're willing to hang in there, everybody can be successful. I've seen people with GEDs become doctors in education or other professions. It's just a question of that positive person in our lives that made a difference when we were in school exists for them as well.
How do you apply yourself?
You got it.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, you're very welcome.
Right. We're going to move on. You heard a little bit about the career program. We're going to spend some time with Gayle Esterly and see exactly how that component fits in to make this whole program work.
Well, I guess one of the things going from week to week, we don't rely on a lot of tests and quizzes. It's more of what they can get right there in the classroom. A lot of the stuff we do is going to be hands-on, and it's kind of at their own pace too. If somebody's going a little bit faster, they'll get a little bit more done that night. If someone's going a little bit slower, then they'll have some work they'll have to take with them to catch up with the other people. Because it's a tech-rich classroom, we have computers in here, and we don't have to run up to the library, but a lot of times we'll do some searches, which goes really well. If we're looking at one of the aspects of the cell or at some of the diseases, I'll just assign them different diseases, and they'll go right onto the internet and come up with some information and make up a poster and then present it to the rest of the class. So they're kind of learning from each other too. And it's more of a facilitator rather than up there. It's not a classic, I'm up front doing all the teaching and they're just sitting there taking notes. I'm trying to get them more involved. They have the information, now they have to go and try to find it and put it all together.
Hey, as promised, we've moved on a little bit now, and we're in the school to career area, and joining us is Gayle Esterly, the school to career coordinator. And Gayle, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
It's nice to be with you.
What we would like to talk a little bit about, I know your program is maturing fairly nicely, and we're now throwing a new little twist at you
There's always something new.
with the adult ed piece of this. We've talked with Mike about some of the core programs and the requirements for English and math and science, and then we began briefly talking about the electives and some of the independent study that he does with students, and very briefly we began talking about school to career and some of the ways that we can give credit for life work experience, and wanted to just get a few examples of how that is working. And I know it's very much in its infancy.
It's very much in its infancy, yes. Some of the things we've done, we've met with several students already, and these are students who have made a commitment to completing their adult ed diploma. They're looking for ways to be successful with that. And what we've done is we've met with those students, we've kind of outlined what their expectations are, and what we're trying to do is come up with a plan that will help them incorporate their work experience with school credit. And it's an individualized kind of program, but the students basically commit to meeting with me on a regular basis. We have some objectives for each student that you're going to complete certain parts of the work, and a lot of it relates to transitioning their current work skills to future work objectives. For example, there might be a student who's working in one field now, but his goal is actually to work for a construction company. And so what we want to do is take what he's doing currently, help him identify the traits and skills and competencies he has, and move that into a new place. Also help him understand why school is important. And so some of the schools that he had, some of the things that he can do already to give him confidence and so forth. So it's a one-on-one kind of thing, but we're trying to take a student from where he is or she is and move them and help them kind of build on that experience so that they can identify what they need to do in the future.
So you're really trying to teach them what are the skills and what are the traits that an employer is looking for.
Absolutely, the employer traits, but also what they're doing is they're actually the key to any kind of experience like this, whether it's an internship program or a job shadow or any of these work-based learning things is that reflection piece. It's that what am I, you get up and go to work every day and not think about it. They have to think about it. They have to think about, well, what are my employer's expectations? What do I need to do to be a successful employee? What can I do to be better at my job? What skills do I need to go on to another job in the future? And so they're, by virtue of these assignments and so forth, they get to think about that a little bit more. Here's what happens when people don't get along at work. Here's what happens if I show up late. Here's how I maybe use management skills on my job, and whether time management, money management, whatever. So they're able to look at their current workplace, their work environment, a little bit differently, maybe more thoughtfully. And that, I think, then translates, okay, well, I have some skills. This is what I learned in school and how I use it, that kind of thing. So that reflective piece is absolutely a critical piece.
So it's almost like a lab program, I guess, where you're having the classroom lesson, so to speak, here
Right.
with the student, and their work environment is kind of the
Is their
practical
lab,
execution
the
lab,
practical
right?
Execution. And these students are students who have a very strong work ethic. And it really comes across. They're showing up, they're responsible, they come in, they do their work. And they have regular appointments with me, so they're meeting their appointments, they're coming on time. If they're delayed for some reason, they're calling. That shows a lot of responsibility. And so it seems to, it's new. I'm sure we're going to be,
Evolving it a little as time goes on,
and,
yeah.
well, depending on the needs of the student and depending on where the work environment is. And but I think that in conversation with the students, they're finding it useful. They're finding it helpful in terms of one student today. We were talking about getting along with your supervisor. That's an issue. That's currently an issue in his workplace. And he said, oh, maybe I can learn something about getting along with my
Right.
boss, because sometimes there's conflict, and maybe we all need to do a better job of working through those problems. So hopefully it's helpful. We're hoping that this moves in the right direction.
Well, I think the key that we've said it so many times, but I think it's caring dedicated staff around the building, whether it be yourself or whether it be the other programs that we're looking at. That I think my experience and probably the message that we want to try and share with that person that's thinking, should I give this a try? Is it if you come through the door, you're more than halfway there, and if you want to put the effort in, there are people here that are going to go more than the other half of the halfway to make this work.
Well, I like to think that that's true. It's one of the reasons I like being here. It's great staff, and I think these are good opportunities for students. They have to, at some level you show up. It's not anything that's handed to them, but I think if they take the first step and make a commitment, people here are willing to work with them, and that's a good feeling.
And I think that probably a key step is it's not just have a job and come here and we're going to give you
please,
credit.
I hope nobody thinks that.
There is a true accountability component here.
Piece, absolutely, and I feel very strongly that needs to be in place. I think that it's certainly not for everyone, but I think for those people in a place where they need to start looking at these kinds of things, I think we can make it. Help them make it happen. The first step is theirs. They need to be accountable, but we have some pieces in place that we're willing to work with them on it, which is nice.
Great. Well, we have talked in the show before on other topics, and
Yes,
I have
we've known each other
watched
for a while.
a long time. We've watched this overall school to career program grow from an idea,
Yes.
and you've been here right through it all, and I'm sure we'll have a chance to come back and revisit this a year or so from now and see how much it has grown from what is now a
Okay.
new set of ideas. So
Right.
thanks for sharing where
All
it's
right.
headed,
Well,
and
thank you.
we look forward to continued success.
Great, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Kind of fits kids' schedules coming into school, because kids have to work in the morning, like once you get older, like seniors and stuff, super seniors even. They have to go out and work in the morning, so it kind of fits their schedule.
The technique is better here and get more one-on-one contact with the teacher, and just more time to do stuff and to work on more stuff in the classroom.
And you just like pay more attention and you don't really give off that much.
Where do you see yourself continuing in the program on to graduation?
Definitely. I'll be graduating this January.
So you're ready.
Definitely. It's helped me out a lot. I wouldn't be graduating if it wasn't for this.
I think some of the benefits to coming at night are the staff. The teachers are awesome. They are easy to work with. They give you more help, like more one-on-one with the teacher. The classes are usually calmer and are with people that you can relate to. By the end of this year, I should be graduating, and
You're gonna
that's
be here.
because of the flex program. I go to regular day school
Right.
as well. I take a full schedule. I take 8 classes. I'll be doing that both semesters, and without the flex program or the adult ed program, I wouldn't be graduating
Wouldn't
on
have
time with
the
my
grades.
class.
Jason, it has been a great day here getting through each of the departments and also talking to some of the students. The program is more than I thought it was when I came through the door, and I think it is just another example of finding ways to reach as many students as possible. And I couldn't help but return here to your office, because when we were talking at the very beginning of the show, I kept seeing this poster in the background, and I think this really speaks to exactly what you've got going here. And if you're not picking it up in the camera, it says impossible is nothing, and I think that's just a great motto of what we're trying to do for our students around here.
Absolutely. These students are validating our efforts, really, between guidance, administration, teachers working with them. I know they appreciate what we're trying to do for them. They're coming up with their end of the bargain as far as making it to class, participating, and getting actively involved. And we're also trying to map out a plan for their future. So I think they appreciate it, and I'm just so proud that the district's moving in this direction to give these kids the opportunity where they were once lost.
Jason, thanks to you, and thanks to all the staff for all the things that you're doing for the students in the community. And also thanks to all of you for watching the show, and thank you for the great support that you, the community, provide to the Londonderry School District and to all of our children.